My 37F, Mom, 58F, ignored my pregnancy announcement. How to move on from this? My parents had me pretty young and I'm an only child. When I was a teenager, they converted to an evangelical church and became really involved in religion and conservative politics. I ended up marrying very young as well and was pressured to start a family right away. After several miscarriages and 15+ years of infertility, I was able to get and stay pregnant with IVF this fall. My mom and I have had a complicated relationship, especially because of differing politics. She says she wants to know what's going on in my life but then doesn't participate in the conversation, so I've started waiting for her to initiate. She was upset when I didn't tell her about starting IVF but then made comments that she didn't believe in the morality of IVF, namely potential destruction of embryos. Every time I gave an update like, egg retrieval surgery is this weekend, she would said, okay, good luck. I started to get burned out on it being a one-sided conversation, so I told her I was backing off until she wanted to know more. She didn't say anything for 2 months. So I got pregnant and got clearance to move to a high-risk OB. I'm not out of the woods, but at 11 weeks I wanted to tell my family. I texted both of my parents asking if we could get together. My mom said she was too busy working. I decided to send my happy news in text instead of waiting. My dad called me immediately and was very sweet. My mom said nothing. It's been almost 3 days and still nothing. My husband knew how upset I was and texted her to let her know how disappointed we were to not hear from her. She responded that she didn't know what to say, so she was praying on how to respond. She also said that we purposely keep her out of the loop so she doesn't respond in the way we want and end up making her the villain. She did eventually text me to say she was busy until that afternoon and wanted to call me. I was too upset and let her know I needed some space. I let the rest of my family, aunts, uncles, grandma, know, and their overwhelming support and happiness just made my mom's lack of response all the more poignant. How do I move forward? I'm coming to terms that I may need to be low contact and not have her as a central figure in this baby's life. I just don't know how to forge through with a relationship when I'm so utterly disappointed. I'm the same age as you and also have a mom who's ghosted me many times. I realized long ago that I don't want someone this unreliable to be a central figure in my future children's lives. There is a book called Mother Hunger. I highly suggest you read it. Do not let your mother cause you any stress during your pregnancy. You and your baby don't deserve or need any extra cortisol production. You said the relationship is fraught, but your expectation of her changing when she hears you are pregnant isn't realistic. It's based in trauma, not in reality. She isn't a good mother. She hasn't learned how to be one. But you can be, for your child. Do the work that you know your mom should have. Have you talked to your dad about your mom? Congratulations on your pregnancy. I hope it all goes well for you. I'm thrilled you had this chance. Unfortunately, your mother won't be who you need or want or hope for. She has shown she can't put aside her issues to support you. Take some time to process it in your own feelings and look after yourself. It's okay to take the time you need to decide what kind of relationship you want with your parents. It can help to talk this through with a therapist, psychologist. But please take care of yourself with this pregnancy. That's your priority, not your parents. Let themselves sort themselves out. It's okay to go low contact with people who are shitty, even if one of them is a parent. You already have a high-risk pregnancy. You do not need the added stress right now. Put your mom on the back burner for now and reassess your relationship after the baby is born. Congratulations on your pregnancy. Please keep yourself calm and safe. Pink heart sending good vibes. My 27M girlfriend 25F kissed another man on Christmas party. How could I cope with this? My 27M girlfriend 25F kissed a guy on corporate Christmas party. It happened 3 days ago. I am devastated by this. So we have had a really great 1.5-year relationship, no big fights. We are a little stressed sometimes, but we could always figure something out and talk our way through problems. They were in a club with her coworkers and this guy, 22 years old, which is really weird for me, started flirting with her and she liked it and flirted back. She told me he said something like she's really pretty etc. to her and she complimented the guy that he looks good too. I am guessing this went on and they ended up kissing. She kissed him back. I am a hopeless romantic type. I thought we were going to get old together etc. And now I don't know what to do. I feel really betrayed. I could never do this to her. What bugs me the most is that she had no reason to do this to me. I always gave her attention, our sex life was great, we talk about everything. So I just can't justify this in my mind. I am always imagining that the love of my life is kissing someone else and it breaks my heart every day since. I really don't know what to do. I hope I could get some advice from you guys. Thanks. You don't cause cheaters to cheat or prevent them from cheating. It's what they do. Stop dating her. Break up with her because she'll sleep with him or someone else if she has the chance. She's telling you very clearly that she's not a loyal person, believe her. Has nothing to do with you, she's the problem. A better question is why would you choose to cope with this? He's a co-worker, she will continue to see him in the workplace, and that provides lots of avenues for contact and to nurture a relationship that can be kept secret from another partner. And she had a reason, not a good reason but a reason. In the moment she wanted to and she did. There is a good chance that some relationship tension has been brewing between them for some time at work. Time to move her to ex-girlfriend status. She has failed the test to qualify as a love of your life, fidelity. Unfortunately, this is a common story. Your best option is to cut your losses and leave. Find someone more worthy to grow old with one day. Dump her and move on. She isn't loyal, man. Did she tell you, or how did you find all this out? 29F. Want to leave my husband, 31M. I don't want to live here anymore. How to proceed? We have a house together. I think he made the down payment for it. His parents may have helped, and we share the bills monthly. I don't know if I'm on any of the house documents, but I do pay for half of the mortgage every month. What would happen to the house? He treats me horribly and I'm over it. The mental abuse. It started from the beginning and I never even realized. But I can't be with him anymore, I can't deal with it. He talks down on my career. He makes more money than me and always reminds me of it. He embarrasses me in front of our friends and talks down on me and my job. He hates my cooking. He has told his mother this and his mother hates me. She doesn't understand why he married me because I'm incapable of anything. I didn't know how to cook before we got married and he asked for home-cooked meals since ordering is expensive and he prefers it. I understood and made an effort to learn for him, but he was so mean about it. He even sent his mom a picture of lasagna I tried to make and I accidentally burned it. I know it was bad, but I told him to not do that because she already hates me and he said it was just funny. And that was a travesty because she is Italian and I can't fuck up any pastas or she gets personally offended. When he gets sick, he asks his mom to make him soup and she is always so rude to me and says I should take care of my husband because she has her own. He calls her behind my back. I obviously don't want her coming by. He asks his mom for advice on everything. She helped us choose a home, which is literally 5 minutes from her own. He goes over a lot, which I don't mind because I like alone time, but sometimes he wants me to join him and obviously I do not want to go. He goes almost every day. I'm fine with seeing them once in a while. They just criticize me and say I can't cook for my husband and how will I feed my children one day, and I'm so quiet and I clearly don't like them. It is so awkward and I have to say, haha no, I obviously love you guys. Like it's just a horrible experience and I hate going over. And he makes a comment every time I say I don't want to go, like wow you put in zero effort to make me happy. By the way, he doesn't speak to my parents ever and my parents do not even care. His mother is just annoying. In the beginning of our marriage, I used to always go with him when he saw them because I didn't have anything else to do and the criticism started. His mom told me I have to stop dressing so boring because I'm a grown woman with a husband and men have wandering eyes. She didn't know anything about our bedroom. Oh, and the comments about us not having kids. They constantly ask me if I am infertile. Enough about his mom. He is always so insulting, especially when he's angry at me. He starts calling me weird and says I have a mental problem and there's something wrong with me and I need to go to the doctor. He calls me stupid and swear words. Maybe I am childish for this, but it does hurt my feelings. When he says hurtful things, I just think about it all day and I can't even push it away. He calls me a SLT. I was only with one guy before him and we had sex a handful of times. I took a break from dating and wasn't looking for a relationship and then met my now husband and he really impressed me. He seemed so nice and funny. He had a great personality. And from the beginning of our relationship, I still have lasting scars. He asked me to participate in a certain sexual act and I did it. A few days later, he got annoyed at me for something unrelated and he said that I was a SLT for doing that thing. I told him that he asked me to do it and he said I could have said no. He started getting suspicious and asked if I lied about my past. Fast forward to when he asked me to do that thing again. I told him that he called me a SLT for it last time and he said he didn't actually mean it. Well, ever since then, he starts calling me that word if he gets angry and I know he's referring to this situation. Honestly, it really affected me. I wanted to stop doing that particular thing but he kept asking. Every time he asks I just instantly remember the whole thing again. He has been with many women and I've never called him any words for it. This is the main insult he says to me, or some variation of it like stupid whore or SLT. Ironically, he has a calendar on our fridge and he draws a check mark on the days we have sex. He said he has to do it because he wants to track our activity and make sure we are active enough. By the way, his mother has asked what that calendar is for and he just openly told her it's our sex calendar. And she looked at the calendar afterwards. She is a nosy pervert. I didn't even realize how bad everything was until Thanksgiving. For some reason everything was happening at once. Before I could ignore some things, but this day, it just went horribly. His mother asked me how work was going and he told her that I'm just an art teacher and the most difficult thing that could happen at work is getting a paper cut. Later on I asked her if she needed some help in the kitchen and she told me no very rudely and asked me to sit with my husband. I wasn't implying that she needed my help because I know better than her. I just meant if she needed help with some small tasks. Then I overheard my mother-in-law and her other son's wife in the kitchen talking very friendly and it made me feel bad that I wasn't allowed in the kitchen. I went to the bathroom which was close by and I heard my mother-in-law ask where I went. My husband said I was in the bathroom. My mother-in-law says, well, I hope her bulimia didn't return. I had confided in my husband that I had an ED when I was 14. I don't know why he told this to his entire family. At that point I felt sick to my stomach and wanted to go home but I couldn't just leave. I didn't even ask him why he did that because I know he would have said, but I tell my mom everything. He has some positives, but at the moment I think I'm mentally done with this. I have tried to speak to him about our issues and I was serious about taking a break. He talked through everything but he wasn't really taking accountability. He was just making excuses for everything and didn't want to change his behavior. We sat for hours talking. I felt like he probably still cared about me if he was willing to speak about our issues for hours, even if he wasn't giving me what I wanted. So I decided to drop it. But now I just feel like I've reached my limit. I feel horrible talking bad about him or even writing this. He has his issues but he's not a horrible person. We're just not compatible. I don't know what type of woman he needs but it's not me. I can't do this anymore. Leave that horrible man. I say this as a person who has lived in poverty and who is still living from paycheck to paycheck. Money is not everything. Your well-being and mental health is worth much more than the money you put on a house. Take that as a lesson learned. You will know better for next time. Pack your bags and leave. You're still so young and have so much to live for. You deserve to be happy. Leave. You won't get any of the house if you aren't on the paperwork, but your life is worth more than that. You don't deserve to be treated this way. You could be happy. I do think he's a horrible person. It seems like the only reason you're still with him is because you've grown numb to his and his mom's abuse. This is not just incompatibility. This is a two-person assault on you. Something has gotten you to wake up to all of his wrongs. It doesn't matter what it is. Please leave now before you grow numb again. Get all your important stuff and leave. Go now. You are not a bad person for thinking that he is. You are in an abusive relationship and he and his mother sound like narcissists. Start organizing your things and while he's at his mother's pack up and leave. Do not engage with either of them. Not knowing if your name on the deed to the house is a pretty major oversight on your part. That would make all the difference in whether you could just walk away or may still owe a lot of money to a mortgage lender. Even if your name's not on the lease, the home may be considered joint marital assets depending on the laws of the place where you live. You don't have to justify why you might want to leave. People leave marriages for all kinds of reasons. But since you have such a tenuous grasp on what you might be able to walk away with, you should talk to a divorce attorney before making any major moves. I had to physically bring my hand to my face and smooth out the wrinkles between my eyebrows as I read this. My heart breaks for you. My love, writing here means you already know that this relationship is a complete loss. Please contact a lawyer and not random folks on the internet who can only echo what you already know. My 36 male wife, 33 female, is angry. I want her to have a girls' night. Did I miss something? I could really use some input here. My wife and I have been married for 15 years, and we recently had our second child. Our first is 6 years old. My wife is currently on maternity leave. She's an amazing mom and has her hands full taking care of our 2 kids. I try to help her wherever I can. Today, after a long day, she told me how tired she was. I suggested she take an evening off and spend some time with her friends. She hasn't gone out for a drink or anything since our second child was born 3 months ago. She got really upset and felt like I was accusing her of being lazy. She said it seemed like I was suggesting a girls' night out because I think she's being overly dramatic about her day. I'm confused and trying to figure out if I overlooked something or came across the wrong way. You didn't do or say anything wrong, kinda. If I was going to guess, this is probably how she feels, that she's being lazy and isn't doing everything that she should be. Moms often have very unrealistic expectations of themselves. Tell her how much you love her and that you never ever thought she was being lazy, now or ever. Your mistake was trying to come up with a solution for her problem. She didn't bring you a problem to fix, she just wants to be heard. I know that sounds completely nuts to us guys, but that's the truth. Commiserate with her. Tell her you can only imagine how she must feel after everything she's done. Hug her and rub her feet. That's all she wants. Postpartum blues, my friend. Tread lightly for a while. Granted, it seems an odd suggestion, That she make plans to go out this evening with her friends if she feels worn out, though it seems easy enough for her to say, I would prefer to stay in, but you watching the kids sounds great. So getting upset is def odd. Sounds like she just wants to rest. Maybe say, I think what I said earlier wasn't taken the way I intended. I am happy to watch the kids if you want to just rest tonight, or if you want to go get a hotel to relax undisturbed. I think you should ask her what she needs or wants in order to feel better. I'm guessing she read too much into your suggestion and obviously took it the wrong way from what you intended. I am sure you meant well, but if I was completely exhausted and someone suggested I go out with friends with all the prep work that entails, I would have thought that they were mocking me as well. When she says there's really tired, tell her she does a great job and give her a hug, not something else exhausting to do. Sounds like a simple miscommunication, probably as a result of her being utterly exhausted. Just tell her that you absolutely did not intend your comment in that way, that you do not think she is lazy, and you are being genuine in your desire for her to take a break with her friends because you think she's the opposite of lazy and she deserves a chance to unwind. If she doesn't believe you, ask her why she thinks you're lying to her and try to address that directly.